Hey everyone, this is Matt, and in this video, I'll be going over some useful Dark Magician related combos that you will, that'll be helpful for you to use in Master Duel, right? So this is a follow-up to my previous video where I recently posted a Dark Magician deck profile for Master Duel, where I talk about how a good plat-worthy Dark Magician deck might look like in Master Duel, given that we don't have access to Dragoon, we don't have access to a lot of things, right? So. Um, yeah, so there are a lot of cards in there that a lot of you probably not seen before, and you're a little confused about how it works. I do try to explain myself in the video, but I'm making this video here so I can actually show you some of the combos live, so that maybe it's a little easier to follow or like to visualize. Um, yeah, I'm not doing this online because, or like this video on a simulator because, well, I don't think there's a sandbox mode at the moment in Master Duel, which really is like well, I guess there might be a test hand mode. I'm just not entirely sure how to use it, but whatever. I'm just going to show you with real cards. And yeah, I built the Master Duel deck like a subset of the Master Duel deck, not the full one. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get into some combos. So the first thing I want to show you is a simple one card combo, right, involving Magician's Rod. This is like if you open your hand and the only card you have with Rod is rod, like useful card you have is Rod, and the rest of your card are all bricks, or like they do absolutely nothing, which it's doubtful. Like you most of the cards in your deck do something, right? But let's say Rod is all you have to work with, right? And you have nothing else for whatever reason. So best way to deal with this is normal summon Rod, activate effect search, go into your deck, and you'll be searching Soul Servant to your hand. You set Soul Servant here, you link Rod, so send Rod to the graveyard, and you make Artemis. So this is why you absolutely have to run Artemis, because if you're stuck in the hand with nothing but a Rod, nothing else useful, you cannot, like having Artemis, like if it was just Rod, then your turn is pretty much over, and like your follow-up turn is not as strong. But because you have Artemis, like you can do so much more, like in a follow-up turn, right? Um, so like, uh, and then when you pass, your opponent will have a turn. At some point during their turn, you want to flip, like assuming Artemis is not threatened, you want to flip Eternal Soul. And with Eternal Soul, you're going to stack Magician Souls on top of your deck. And on resolution of this, so when this goes to the graveyard, you activate Rod Effect in the graveyard, tributing Artemis to return this to your hand, right? So then on the following turn, you'll draw a Magician's Soul. So this will that'll allow you to go into like more combos, right? And I'll show you like Rod Soul combos later in this video. But just to give you an idea, like Rod is by itself can do fine. Like let's say you have Rod in a bunch of back row, like you'll be in perfectly good shape. Like let's say for example you also had you opened a skill drain in your hand, right? So like as part of that combo, you did set you did set Soul Servant, but you also set like a Skill Drain. Skill Drain is a great card, right? This card like can just end your opponent's turn, like they can't do anything against it, right? Under it, right? So anyway, you flip Skill Drain on their turn, pay 1,000. If you want, you can on resolution of activating this, you can do the tribute, right? So tribute Artemis to grab Rod back in hand if you want. But either way, at some point you're going to use Soul Servant, stack Magician Souls on top of your deck, and this will go in the graveyard, and then on the following turn, there'll be Skill Drain on the field, and you'll open Rod Souls. So you could play around Skill Drain, like Vanilla Dark Magician is a perfectly fine monster. You could just use Magician's Rod to like summon Vanilla Dark Magician. Like that's cool, right? Let's bring out this bad boy here. Yeah, Vanilla DM with Skill Drain, perfectly reasonable. Yeah, you can definitely proceed like this. Or if you want to do some of the 2-card combos, which I'll show you later in the video, instead, what you can do is like, special summon Magician Souls, using its effect by sending DM or maybe some other spellcaster, probably DM, to the field. Skill Drain negates the effects. It does not prevent activation. So you activate Magician Souls, you send Skill Drain to the graveyard to draw a card, whatever it is, and then you can normal Rod and proceed with your combo, right? So If you need to deactivate skill drain, Magician's Souls allows you to do that. So let's keep that in mind. So yeah, opening with a lone rod in your hand and just a bunch of back row or like bricks, not the end of the world. It's workable. Okay. Cool. So another thing I want to talk about before I get into 2-card combos is I want to talk about the Dark Magician loop, quote unquote, right? So let's say that you have Dark Magician here on the field, along with Dark Magical Circle and Eternal Soul. Or maybe you have Dark Magician in the graveyard or in your hand, and you have like these cards here, right? So what you can do is, you know, if you have these two, right, the loop is like you want to use this to bring back Dark Magician, which will trigger this, and you banish a card, right? And you want to do that every turn. This is once per turn. This is once per turn, like your or your opponent's turn. But this guy has to be in your hand or graveyard for you to do that. The field is no bueno, right? So how do you get around that? Well, that's part of the reason why I showed you like why you have cards like I'm Duck and Link Spider, right? So I'm Duck allows you to link a normal monster to the graveyard, summon, right? And then Dark Magician will be in the graveyard, so your Eternal Soul Dark Magical Circle loop will be live. So then on a subsequent turn, you can activate this, bring this back, trigger this to banish, right? Well, then what? Now you lose Link Spider. Well, now you can link Dark Magician into I'm Duck, right? So this arrow points down, so you want to summon Link Spider first. This arrow points up, right? And now Dark Magician is back in the graveyard. So now what? Well, now on another turn, or like on the same turn, whatever, you can activate this, bring Dark Magician back, trigger this, banish a card, right? Now, what now? Am I out of Link monsters? Well, not really, because if you'll recall my deck profile, we're also running. Oh, a moment, I forgot to grab this card. 1 second. This bad boy right here. Lackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. It's a Link 3. Requires 3 monsters with different names. And it gets even more powerful if one of those monsters is a level 7 or higher. Oh, look, Dark Magician is level 7. So now, if you want, you can do link these 3 to the graveyard, make Lackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. This guy is great because when he, because you linked him with Dark Magician, he is untargetable and cannot be destroyed by card effects. 3k beater, when you attack, after destroying a monster, you can banish 1 card on the field, untargeted banish. So more banishes to go with this here, right? And then on like a subsequent turn, you can use Eternal Soul again to bring Dark Magician back, and then trigger this, banish again, right? So you definitely have like banish loops that you can do. So yeah. And so just this, like this is assuming you have no other cards, right? You don't have Rod, you don't like nothing else. You are able to perpetuate this. Let me see how many banishes. So 1 banish, the first one. 2 banishes. 3 banishes. This technically banishes if it destroys a monster, right? So 4. 5 banish, and then 6 banishes. So with just this right here, like nothing else, no other cards in your hand, you can generate 6 banishes over like 4 turns, right? Because Lackluster Soldier and Dark Magician can banish on the same turn, right? So yeah, 6 banishes, 4 turns. So and 2 of the banishes are non-targeted, whereas this one obviously is targeted. So yeah, this is why you need these link monsters. Like you need a way to send your dark magician to the graveyard, and Lackluster Soldier also helps with that, right? Any link monster really. But yeah, of the ones that are in our deck profile, these are the main ones for sending this guy away. So all right, so that's cool. let's talk about Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Okay, so Dark Magician, Dragon Knight is a card that we really like, but it's really hard to summon, especially in this deck, right? There is a way to bring it out on turn 1. I mean, I'll show you combos later that allow you to bring it out on turn 2. But getting a turn 1 Dark Magician Dragon Knight is very, very, very difficult, right? And the reason for that is because you effectively need 3 cards, right? You need either Rod or Secrets of Dark Magic, one of these two, right? If you don't have secrets, you use Rod to search secrets, but you need secrets in hand, right? Somehow. You need a Magician's Souls to summon a Dark Magician to the field on turn 1, right? And you need either an Apprentice Illusion Magician. So let me attach. So this Magician's Souls here will summon this Dark Magician, and then either the third card is either Apprentice Illusion Magician or Dark Magician, or the second Dark Magician. So this Dark Magician can be searched from Apprentice Illusion. So either one of these is fine. So 3-card combo to get the Dragon Knight on the field on turn 1. Okay, so let's just assume that you don't have that. These are the 3 that you have, right? Yeah, I'm gonna leave these up. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, 3-card combo. Summon Rod. Rod searches. Where are you? Secrets of Dark Magic into your hand. Summon. Use Magician's Souls effect in hand to send itself to the graveyard, and summon Dark Magician from your deck, right? So Dark Magician goes to graveyard, then Souls revives it to the field, right? So this is in your hand. Then you want to discard a 4th card, whatever it may be. Summon Apprentice Illusion Magician. Apprentice Illusion Magician will search Dark Magician to your hand. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm using these artworks, is because the stupid Master Duel only has these artworks. So you know what? I'm gonna make a video with the tablets. Like, yeah, I have an ulti rare one. So this is the ulti, and this is the Speed Duel secret rare one. I actually, even though people like to overhype ultis, I actually think that the secret rare one looks nicer. Whatever. So you have this in hand, and you also have secrets in hand, right? And you have these 3 on the field. So now you can link this guy into Duck, and then activate Secrets of Dark Magic to fuse these 2 into the Dragon Knight. Bam. So let's see. Can you attack for game for this? So this is 3K, 2K, so 5K, 66K. Unfortunately, you cannot attack for game, but you do get the Dragon Knight in one turn from this, right? It's not great. It's not ideal, and 3-card combo, especially given that we're running only one of these. I mean, granted, you know, we could have also opened this instead. Like, does not bode well, right? It's not ideal. All right. So let's talk about some 2-card combos, which are probably going to be the most common ones that you'll see. All right, so 2-card combos. Let's do Rod and Souls. So most of the, you know, if you play the TCG, Rod and Souls opens your Dragoon and a draw 2. So yeah, very obvious what to do with Rod and Souls if you're playing the TCG. And if it's not obvious, I'll probably eventually make a YouTube video with combos using the TCG necklace, but only after the Battle Chaos stuff comes out. All right. Let's say you open Rod and Souls. So a good thing you can do, you have these 2 in hand. First, you normal summon Rod, activate Rod, and you're going to be searching bond between teacher and student. There's this card here to your hand. Right, so now this is in your hand, and then this is on the field, right? Then you want to activate Magician's Souls, sending Dark Magician to the graveyard, and then you'll send this to the graveyard to summon Dark Magician, right? And then you want to activate bond between teacher and student, which will allow you to special summon from your deck the Dark Magician Girl. I'm also using this artwork because it's the only one available on Master Duel. This card also allows you to set from your deck Dark Burning Magic. So this goes away. So now on your opponent's turn, at any time you want, since this is a quick play, you can flip this and destroy every card your opponent controls. Spells, monsters, back row, front row, it doesn't matter. So that's great. And since this card is, is searchable through Rod, that means it's also searchable through Soul Servant. So if you had a Soul Servant handy, you can recycle this back on the following turn. So yeah, this is great. Yeah, like how do we set up an engine for recycling this? Well, before ending your turn, one thing you can do is you can link this rod away into Artemis. I mean, you should probably link it to Artemis regardless, right? On your opponent's turn, when you activate Dark Burning Magic, right? So let's say you activate this, you blow out their board. This goes to the graveyard. And then on resolution, you trigger Rod. You tribute Artemis. Artemis is a spellcaster. Rod is back in your hand. On your turn, normal Rod. Activate effect. Search Soul Servant to hand. Activate Soul Servant. And now you want to, because Soul Servant allows you to stack from deck, stack this on top of your deck. Banish Soul Servant, draw 2. You now have this card back. Right? And then you can set it down, right? Unfortunately, since we only have one Artemis, we can't repeat that infinitely. But if you had any other, I mean, at this point, like if you're able to go 2 turns pulling this off, you're probably going to win, right? Because you have 25 2K beater, right? That will, and they should all be able to attack like 2 turns, 2 of your turns in a row. If you had other cards, you could recycle. Like if you had, let's say you had an Eternal Soul, right? Then this combo gets even more crazy. Like, let's say you had Eternal Soul on the field, right? Then, you could, and actually, if we're being even crazier, let's say you had Magician's Navigation, right? Link these 3 away into Black Luster Soldier, the Soldier of Chaos, right? Maybe attack, maybe get a banish. On your opponent's turn, activate this. Summon. Trigger. Target. Summon. And now this is live. Let's say you activate this, blow out their board. This goes to the graveyard. On resolution, you trigger Rod, tribute, back to your hand. And now next turn, you can, do Soul Servant again, right, to stack this back on top of your deck. So, and you still have DM Girl, you still have this, you have this to bring back Dark Magician, and you just rinse and repeat. If you want, you can link DM Girl into Accesscode. Oh, did I not bring my Accesscode? 1 second, let me grab my Accesscode. Where's my Accesscode? Yeah, so here's Accesscode. So yeah, if you want, you can make link these 2 away into Accesscode. Bam. Banish Black Luster Soldier, pop. By the way, Black Luster Soldier link 3, so Accesscode will be a 5300 beater. Banish Artemis, pop. Normal Rod. grab another Soul Servant right from the deck. Stack this back on the deck. Banish. Draw 2. Eternal Soul brings back Dark Magician. This brings back Dark Magician Girl. You now have, oh, sorry, not this one. Dark Burning Magic, right? So Eternal Soul makes this board a lot better. But see how, just with Rod Souls by themselves with no other cards, right? I was able to set up 2 turns worth of Dark Burning Magic, right? With Dark Magician Girl. So obviously, if they're able to destroy one of these, then you're kind of screwed, right? Like, hopefully they can't pop one of your monsters. But other than that, like, there's no hand trap that can stop this, right? Like, they would have to preemptively set, if an imperm, but like, you're going to play this and clear the board. Like, where are they going to have imperm? Probably not, right? So yeah, so just Rod Souls, I was able to get all that. And obviously, if you add an Eternal Soul to that, or a Salvation to that, you can see how nuts, like, how you can easily get to Accesscode. And like, yeah, I highly doubt they'll be able to survive that. Anyway. Okay, more 2-card combos. There's one more card I forgot to grab. Okay. All right, so let's say you open Rod Souls, okay? So this time we're going to normal Rod, and we're going to search Soul Servant. So we're not searching Bond, we're searching Soul Servant to the hand, right? This is also in your hand. Activate Magician Souls. Send Dark Magician. Because we want to summon Dark Magician. So send this to the graveyard, summon Dark Magician. Okay. Activate Soul Servant. So what card? So we're activating Soul Servant right away. So what card are we going to be stacking? We're going to be stacking on top of our deck Palladium Oracle Mahad. So that's going to go to the top of our deck. So this goes on top here. Soul Servant goes here. Banish Soul Servant. This gets you a draw 1, right? Because we only have 1 DM. So you'll draw Palladium Oracle. By drawing Palladium Oracle, you can activate its effect, summon them to the field. Okay. We have 2 options here. Actually, we have 3 options. Let's talk about all 3 of them. As you'll notice, 3 monsters. One of them, at least one of them, is a level 7. So if we want, we can immediately link all 3 into Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. So that's a 1 turn. With Rod Souls, we were able to get to BLS, right? Very, very, that's great. That's one option we could do. Second option we could do is we can overlay Mahad and either make Ebon Illusion Magician. And if we make Ebon Illusion Magician, we can detach Mahad to summon the other Dark Magician from the deck, like so. So now that we have this, a normal monster, spellcaster, and this, whenever this attacks, you can trigger this effect to banish a card on the enemy field. And I made Ebon Illusion, but maybe you want to make Big Eye to take control of one of the monsters. And if you want, you could link either these 2 or link this away into Link Spider. Link Spider and Rod will link away into Anaconda. Let's count how many unique spellcasters we have. Oh, only 4 here. The fifth would have to be Ebon Illusion, right? Because it's on the field. So yeah, so you pay 2,000, send Magical Ice Fusion to the graveyard, and then we fuse 5 spellcasters into Quintet Magician. So the 5 spellcasters will be this on the field: Rod, Dark Magician, Mahad, and Soul. So yeah, and then this Dark Magician that was material will be in the graveyard. So yeah, these 5 unique spellcasters will make Quintet Magician. Quintet Magician can activate its effect to just blow out your opponent's board, right? So that's another thing you can do. Let's talk about last thing you can do. I mean, it's not, you know, we'll say the last thing, but like, so let's say you have, so back to that game state, you have so Mahad and DM, you have this, right? Let's say you detach this, summon the DM, and I think, and we also had a Rod, right? So let's take out this Anaconda. So this is our game state before. So this guy can attack, right? You know, assuming it's not like the turn 1. And what happens when an Xyz monster attacks? Main phase 2, bam, Zeus. 2 material Zeus, not great, but it's still a Zeus, right? So this is because of, you know, Rod Souls, and you might be thinking, oh, that this looks like a going second thing. Like you would never really do that going first. You're right. It is definitely a going second thing. Like it's much stronger when you have the ability to attack, and they already have stuff on their field. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but also notice that because you have Mahad in the graveyard and a Dark Magician on the field, your Soul Servant is now at draw 2, right? So your Soul Servant will draw you 2 cards. So that's already like big, right? All right, let's rewind a little bit to the beginning here, where we just have Rod and Souls. All right, so where's my Souls? So Rod, Souls in your opening hand. You haven't done anything yet. So that's, you know, that's Mahad is can be useful, right? Like don't people like to write off Mahad. It's not that bad. All right. So let's say you open Rod Souls, right? So so this combo I'm going to show you will get you a turn 2 Dark Magician Dragonite with Dark Magical Circle and Eternal Soul on the field. So basically the dream, right? Like it doesn't get better than this. But then again, it's not a 1-turn thing. It'll get you that on turn 2, not on turn 1. So normal Rod, search navigation, or sorry, salvation, not navigation. And then you want to activate navigation, which will set Eternal Soul to your field. Activate this in hand. Send Dark Magician to the graveyard. And then send this to the graveyard to special summon the Dark Magician, right? Actually, no. Keep this in the graveyard. Put this on the field. Yeah. And if you want, you can use this to send this to the graveyard to get a draw 1. You're not required to, but yeah. Next, you want to link Rod away for Artemis because why not? You always want to do that. You always want Rod in the graveyard. Like, when in doubt, send Rod to the graveyard. That's why you have Artemis. Artemis is great. Okay. Okay, so this ending board is not great, right? I mean, hopefully you have other stuff, like maybe some back row or some amount of other support, right? But let's just play this out a little bit. And you know, this could go into like a Linkuriboh, right? Like obviously, I mean, I don't run Linkuriboh in the profile, but if you did, you would Linkuriboh and then Artemis, right, underneath, but whatever. You have souls. On your opponent's turn, they do their thing, right? At some point during their combo, or like on their turn, let's say they're end phase, you activate Eternal Soul, you bring back Dark Magician. On resolution of this, you activate Rod, and now you tribute a monster. The monster you want to tribute should be either Souls or Artemis. Your choice. I'm just going to do Artemis. It doesn't matter. And then this goes back into your hand. Okay. Turn 2. Normal this. This will search you Secrets of Dark Magic. To your hand. By the way, I misspoke. This will not end you with Dark Magical Circle. Yeah. You would have to get Dark Magical Circle either through hard drawing it or through a Soul Servant that you just happen to draw, right? It's not it's doable, right? You link. Actually, you have to tribute Artemis because her link arrow points upward. So yeah, when I said Rod, when you use Rod effect in Graveyard, tribute Souls or Artemis. No, you must tribute Artemis, otherwise you can't make Imduck, right? Anyway, so you link Dark Magician into Imduck, activate this, bring this back. So technically, let's see. Oh, sorry, Imduck has to go here. At this point, if you want, you can attack, and then on battle phase, after they attack, you can secrets, and then these two fuse into the Dragon Knight. So, yeah, there's your Dragon Knight on turn 2. Unfortunately, no Dark Magical Circle, but you know, you can just link these two away, recycle Rod back next turn, and then have Dark Magical Circle. So, not great, but like, yeah, this is, you know, the best way for you to get the Dragon Knight on the field. Not required, right? Since arguably I would say like maybe it's more important to get Eternal Soul, Dark Magical Circle, right? So instead of using Rod to get secrets, I could have used Rod to get Dark Magical Circle, and I might have been in better shape, right? Maybe, depending on the situation. So technically, you know, these cards can make Selene, right? Actually, yeah, when I said link these two away, you can actually link them into Selene. Where's my Selene? 1 second. Here's my Selene. So these can all link away into Selene, assuming there are enough spells. Which in your graveyard, there's only 1, 2, so you'll get 2 counters. So that's not enough. So this is of course assuming like your opponent played a spell, right? Or maybe you played a spell. But yeah, you need a 3rd spell, right? Because then you'll be able to use Selene to revive back the spellcaster, and then link these into Accesscode. And then if, you know, in your graveyard you have a light for a pop, you have a wind for a pop, yeah, and then this is a 5300, right? So yeah, I mean the Selene situation could have also been done like in like the previous combos I showed you, but of course every time you bring out Selene, it's under the assumption that you can get 3 counters. There has to be 3 spells, which it wasn't always the case, but yeah. Okay, so that's turn 2, right? Yeah, so like when we had the Mahad, right? We had Mahad, Dark Magician, Rod. Those 3 can go into Selene, right? And assuming there are 3 spells, you can revive back one of them and then go into Accesscode. So yeah, yeah. So even in the case where we went the path towards Mahad, you can still go into Selene if you have the resources for it. Right. Remember, you have to have 3 spells on the field or in the graveyard. So this is why navigation is nice, because you know it's a spell on the field. All right. So let's talk about the last 2-card combo, which involves Magician Souls and Apprentice Illusion Magician. So this one is the most interesting one. This is probably the ones that y'all are used to the least, right? All right, so let me put these cards back. Okay. So this is definitely a going second combo for the most part. You can use it going first, but I wouldn't recommend it most of the time. So you open Apprentice Illusion and you open Magician Souls. So this is your opening hand. All right, so what can we do this? Well, first of all, you're going to activate Magician Souls effect in hand. to send the Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard. And you're actually going to send this guy to the graveyard to summon Dark Magician Girl onto your field. You're going to activate, or not activate because it's not an activated effect. You're going to send another card in your hand, like a third card, to the graveyard. It doesn't matter what it is. To summon this, special summon this to the field, activate the effect, search a Dark Magician to your hand. So you have this in your hand now. All right, great. Now what? Okay. Now you're going to overlay these two because they're both level 6s. And you're going to make Naruto the Moral Leader. Right, he's a rank 6. His effect, not that important. He can negate a spell trapped by detaching material, but that's not why we want him. Because you have Naruto, who's a rank 6 spellcaster, you can actually rank up and overlay Ebon Illusion Magician. Right? So this gives you many options right off the bat. First option is you can pitch Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard and special summon a Dark Magician from the deck. So now, what does this do? So now this makes it so that Eternal Soul, sorry, not Eternal Soul, Soul Servant will draw you 2 cards. So you have DM Girl in the graveyard, you have Dark Magician on the field. And if this Dark Magician attacks, you can trigger a Ebon Illusion effect to banish a card on the field, a targeted banish, right? That's one option you could do. Okay, the second option you could do, so let's put this back in the deck, this is still attached, is you can simply attack with this guy, attack something, right? Maybe attack directly, attack defense position monster, and then on main phase 2, you'll make Zeus. And note, it's a 4 material Zeus, so you now have the ability to quickly, as a quick effect, detach 2 cards, clear, and send every other card in the graveyard. So, yeah, there's that option, right? So you can do that. Alternatively, you can, you're back here on Ebon Illusion, you detach Dark Magician Girl to special summon Dark Magician from the deck. And now you will link Dark Magician away into Link Spider because you need an effect monster. So Link Spider transforms normal monsters into effect monster. And then you're going to link these 2 away into Predaplant Verde Anaconda. Predaplant Verde Anaconda. You're going to pay 2,000 life points. You're going to send Magical Eyes Fusion to the graveyard to copy its effect. And the monster we'll be making is Quintet Magician. Obviously, it will require you to banish 5 spellcasters. And the 5 spellcasters you want to banish are Ebon Illusion, Naruto, Apprentice, Souls, and Dark Magician. So why these 5? Well, you have another Dark Magician in hand, so it's okay to banish 1. Souls does nothing in the graveyard. Apprentice Illusion has done her job. Naruto has done his job, and Ebon Illusion has done his job. Like, you don't really need. I want to keep Dark Magician Girl so that I still have a potential. I still have a draw. Like if I saw it, so before using Anaconda, like if you have Soul Servant, you get your draw too, right? But then afterwards, because this DM is in your hand and not in the graveyard, Soul Servant is going to become a draw 1. But because you still have DM Girl in the graveyard, so you definitely do not want to banish these 2 because then Soul Servant will be dead, right? But also losing your DM Girl means that Salvation is a lot worse, and you won't be able to. You'll less likely be able to get more draws from Soul Servant. So these are the 5 spellcasters you want to banish to make Quintet Illusion Magician. So these all get banished because this guy is summoned with 5 spellcasters with unique original names. His effect will trigger and blow out your opponent's board completely. So yeah, so this is definitely a going second combo, right? And obviously you have a 4,500 beat. If you can attack this plus this is 5,000 attack, 5,000 damage, right? It's nuts. Alternatively, or rather, I guess an additional thing you do, let's say you happen to have Rod in your hand as well, right? You still haven't normal summoned, right? Like your combo starters were Souls and Apprentice Illusion, both of which are special summons. You have not normal summoned, right? So if you have a Rod, you can make even more plays, right? Um, like you can summon Rod, search like Salvation. Salvation will grab Eternal Soul, and since DM and DM Girl, these are live, right? Um, and then you can, on the following turn go into Dark Magical Circle. That's one thing you can do, right? Alternatively, if you have Rod, instead of going into Verdi and then Accesscode, right? So let's say you still had Dark Magician and the Ebon on the field with Naruto. Right? So let's say you still had these on the field. You still want to make the Link Spider. Well, it depends, right? So these three can go into Selene, right? So these three can make Selene. If obviously you would only do that if there are enough spells to get the spell counters, because then you would revive and then make Accesscode, right? So that's another thing you do. Or instead of going into Selene, these three can make Blackluster Soldier. So because these are three monsters, different names, and this is a level 7, so you'll get like a strong Blackluster Soldier. Yeah. So obviously, I'll try to showcase the 2-card combo with just Souls and Apprentice. You might think, oh, well, I only have one copy of Apprentice. When's that going to come up? Not often, but remember, Apprentice Illusion Magician is searchable off of Soul Servant, right? So if you have a Rod or a Soul Servant in your hand, you can set up this combo in a future turn, right? Like, so even though we have one copy of Apprentice Illusion, again, this is not a combo you do on your very first turn when no one else has played. This is a combo you do after when you're able to attack, right? So just keep that in mind. Obviously, if you don't have, you're not required to go into, these links. Like if you want, you can just keep these on the field. Maybe go into a Zeus, like whatever. There's no requirement. Like I'm just showing you some options that you have. But yeah, but just keep in mind that these two cards together are very powerful, like in this deck, because you see what this can make almost anything you want. It can make an Ebon Illusion. It can make a Zeus. It can make a Blackluster Soldier. Yeah, actually, sorry, the Blackluster Soldier is the only one we had Rod. Yeah, it can make Quintet, right? Like strong going second options you have, but so yeah, that's why we run Naruto. Like if you've never heard this card in your life, now you have. It's simply a rank 6. Utilize the fact that these two are level 6s, are summonable together without a normal summon, and then taking advantage of the fact that this can rank up from a rank 6 spellcaster. So pretty cool, right? If you've never seen this, I mean, I think Michael Boyd over at Dark Magical Gaming on his channel, in one of his older videos, I think he might have showcased this combo like on I don't know, some Dark Magician deck profile he made back in the Dino Dragon Link meta or format. But it doesn't come off often because we don't really run XCs anymore, right? Because, like, it's really hard to justify XCs, a rank 7, if you have Dark Magicians. Like, so I have the Mahad in my deck because it's another level 7, right? Like other than these two Dark Magicians, you honestly should not be running like any more level 7s. Mahad makes it a little easier to access Ebon Illusion Magician, but Mahad is not great. Like you should not be playing Mahad like most of the time. And yeah, obviously Naruto can be made through Apprentice Illusion and Dark Magician Girl, but a lot of Dark Magician deck profiles there are not even running Apprentice. So when are you going to make this, right? So that's why you haven't seen it. Although when Battle of Chaos comes out, I will start advocating for running Apprentice again because of the fact that Illusion of Chaos can search it. It's like a easy 1-card searchable extender. But even in that deck list, I don't run the Naruto package because it's too many extra deck monsters to commit, right? You need a Naruto. You need the Ebon Illusion. Anaconda, you'll probably already have. Like it's but Quintet, right? Like I don't know. I feel it's too much extra deck space, and with a lot of the new Dark Magician cards coming out, like um, like I'd rather have Dark the Dark Charmer, right? It's like I'd rather have two. I'm still gonna run two Dragoons, two Anacondas, right? So the reason I can fit this package is because I don't have in Master Duel. This is Master Duel. Remember, this is strictly Master Duel. I do not have access to Dragoon, so I'm not going to be running two Dragoon, two Anaconda. I'll be running one Anaconda just to access the Magic Life Fusion, but like, the extra deck is can fit a lot more in the Master Duel variants. And being the fact that I run Mahad justifies this card a little bit more. Like you can actually see this card more than just relying on two Dark Magicians. Because remember, let's say you overlay these two Dark Magicians, you can't actually detach because you have no valid targets to special summon. So therefore, these two are going to be stuck under here, not able to do anything. You'll never use this effect, and Soul Servant will be dead. So while Dark Magician is a material, Soul Servant, it's not on the field. It's not anywhere. Soul Servant cannot count that towards the draw. So that's why before, when I had the Naruto, right, with Apprentice, I explicitly said, so I had DM Girl, right, Naruto, Apprentice. I explicitly said to detach Dark Magician Girl, because if you detach anything else, then your Soul Servant will not have draw power. So you're specifically detaching DM Girl so that you get another draw from Soul Servant. So very important. Materials on an Xyz monster is not considered to be on the field, right? And Soul Servant requires the Soul Servant monsters to be on the field or in the graveyard, nowhere else. So yeah, so that's why it'd be very silly for you to do something like this, right? Because it's like Soul Servant's dead, Eternal Soul is dead, Ebon Illusion does nothing, useless. Like this is completely useless. But if you make Ebon Illusion with these two, Mahad, right, who's a level 7, then this is justified because then you can detach Mahad. So in this case, you want to detach Mahad. Why? Because if you detach Mahad, you'll summon the other Dark Magician. So this will be on the field. This will be in the graveyard. Soul Servant will get you draw 2, right? So yeah, so it's very important that you detach the right material. Do not detach Dark Magician because if you want Soul Servants to draw you more cards, you want to detach Mahad. And guess what? If this guy attacks, you can make Zeus, right? And then detach these two to the graveyard anyway. So eventually this Dark Magician will get to the graveyard, but you already have one, so you don't technically need this one. But if you really do, you can just go into Zeus or link Ebon away into something else. So anyway. So those are some combos. Is it every combo in deck? No, it's not. I mean, I've shown you mostly combos involving, obviously Apprentice and Souls. But these two cards can be accessed in alternative ways. You don't have to hard open these. So what do I mean by that? So if you open this, right, and you want to go the Apprentice combo, you can, because this card can search Soul Servant, right? Soul Servant can stack Apprentice on top of your deck, right? This will send DM Girl. So Soul Servant will get you a draw 1, so you will get Apprentice, and then you can proceed with that combo. So just because you open these doesn't mean that you can't also, instead of using doing a 2-card combo, you can also just grab this, right? It's very versatile that way. Oh, sorry, you would special summon DM Girl, but just keep that in mind. You might say, oh, Apprentice is a 1-of, but these are 3-ofs, and I just showed you that with these 2 cards you can get Apprentice, and if you get Apprentice, you can do all those combos that I just showed you, with these 2. I mean, the Rod is a normal summon, it doesn't conflict with these 2, and in fact, you have your third body here. So I would actually argue that Rod Souls is still the best opener because it can get you this card. Which will let you go and do all those other tricks that I showed you, right? Yeah, Rod Souls is just great. I just wish that in the TCG was I don't know, it was a little stronger. Like making Anaconda Dragoon is great, but like other than that, like what else is Rod Souls gonna do, right? Not much, unless you have like all these other packages that I showed. Um, yeah. Alternatively, like remember our good old friend Upstart Goblin? We have 3 of these in Master Duel, right? Uh, like so, if you also open up one of your upstarts, when you use Soul Servant, you can stack, and then you can use Upstart, chain Soul Servant, stack Apprentice, and then draw it. And then Soul Servant is still alive, and then it can get you a draw 2 later, right? Or maybe like let's say you want to go. Let's say your 2 opening cards um, are Souls and Soul Servant, right? So remember these 2 can get you Rod, assuming you have. I mean, by themselves, but if you have another spell or trap, right? Because this will send either DM or DM Girl summon itself. You play this to stack Rod, and then you banish this to draw the Rod, and now you have Rod, right? And then you can do something with Rod. Um, so yeah, you have options. Like you're not, don't be fooled. Like these 2 work together just fine. Similarly, Rod plus Upstart work together just fine to do all these combos. In Master Duel, Upstart is a 3 of. It's a combo starter, right? Because this will search you Soul Servant. Soul Servant will stack, right? So with these 2, you can grab Magician Souls, right? And then with Magician Souls, you can proceed with those other combos. So yeah. Upstart Goblin is a 3 of in Master Duel. How nuts is that? I wish it was a 3 of in real life because this is a huge part of your combo, right? Rod Upstart is full combo, right? So Rod Souls is full combo. Rod Upstart is full combo. Um, Apprentice Souls is full combo. Like there's multiple ways of making full combo. Like obviously we run under these, but like this, imagine if we had 3 of these in TCG. Like it would be so much better. We would get Dragoon even more often, right? Like we rely so much on Rod Souls as Dragoon. Upstart is just a 4th copy of Souls, right? Like just let's ignore Illusion of Chaos and the Battle of the Chaos stuff. Like um, I'm going on a little rant here, but like let's say we had 3 Upstarts. That's 3 more combo pieces, right? 6 copies of Souls, assuming you have the Rod. So yeah, this is why you should run 3 Goblin Upstart Goblin um, in your deck in Master Duel. It's just like why not, right? There's never a downside. Um, so anyway, thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments if there are any other spicy texts or combos that I missed. I try to do this somewhat planned, somewhat on the fly, just to see what would uh, what I can come up with. But hopefully, seeing these combos in action will help you a lot on Master Duel. Like a lot of these combos you would argue are like going second combos, and they are. And maybe you want to redo your Dark Magician deck to be a blind going second deck if you want, right? So instead of running a bunch of like traps like the solemn cards or tarantulas, maybe run some going second cards, Dark Ruler No Mores, Raigekis, right, or Dark Holes, right? Like run blowout like cards that are for going second, and always choose to go second. You win the coin flip, choose to go second. You lose the coin flip, they'll probably make you go second anyway. So yeah, if you want, you can do that. I just think that like uh, I still prefer going first because more control-oriented style, but also there are plenty of other uh, like smart duelists on Master Duel that do main deck and build their deck in a way to blind going second, and they'll do the same strategy as that. They win the coin flip. They'll choose to go second, right? And if you're forced to go first, and all your all your tech options, your back row, you only have going second cards, you're gonna be very screwed, right? Like like a card like Skill Drain is great going first or second. Um, Obviously, slightly better going first, but this will keep you alive, right? So like whether you go first or second, this will be a decent card. But like, let's say you're main decking Raigeki or like evenly matched or Dark Ruler more, and they force you to go first. What the hell are you gonna do with those cards? Nothing, right? So I still think that this deck should be built and prioritized for going first. It is a control deck. You have back row, like like, yeah, you have some pretty nice going second blowout combos, but you also have some pretty good going first combos. Like, and you know, you definitely have the grind game on your side. So anyway, um, yeah, that's all. Hopefully, this will be the last time that um, I have to play with these two artwork with this artwork. I'm not a fan of this tablet artwork. I mean, I mean, it's cool that they got like one, you know, a secret rare version and ultimate rare version, but this is my least favorite artwork. I'm sorry. I really hope that um, Master Duel allows you to uh, or like patches and adds artwork variants because yeah, not a fan of these. Okay. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. And yeah, if you learn anything or if you think I made a mistake, maybe I'll put in my description. But I was probably like a, you know, I misspoke or something. But yeah, let me know either way. I like getting feedback, and yeah, I want to correct whatever mistakes I made that I didn't catch. So, all right, take care and see ya.